Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family of 7 living big with less. And one of my favorite things to talk about is living debt free and living frugally. And I know that if you're on a tight budget, that can get really tricky to stay the course and stay motivated. So when we were paying off our debt, we paid $80,000 of debt off in 3 years, living on one income. So our budget was super tight. I called it the scorched earth budget. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that really helped us not just survive during that time, but thrive. So if you're interested, if you've got big savings goals, or if you're getting out of debt, stick around. So my first tip for you is treat it like a challenge. This was really helpful for me, particularly with giving things a positive spin, is that instead of thinking of this as like, ugh, boo, I've only got $100 on groceries to spend this week, I thought of it like a challenge. And it wasn't a challenge against anybody else except myself. It was me versus the budget. And how good a job could I do? How could I find the best deals and stay on budget while still having a really great fun time, providing nutritious food for our family or great entertainment on a super tight budget? So treating it like a challenge, versing myself was a great way, especially on the days that were really tough, to just revamp myself and give myself the motivation to keep going. So my second tip for you is to find a cheaper way. Now this is just a question I would ask myself anytime we were going to spend money was, okay, we need to spend money on this. Is there a cheaper way? Is this something that we can make ourselves or fix ourselves? We had an issue with our back door falling off and we thought we were going to have to buy a new door. So we were all ready. We were going to have to fork out $200 for a new back door. And then I said to my husband, hang on, let's just go and talk to my dad. And he was able to fix it with some pop rivets for like a $1. And so just by asking that question, stopping before you spend any money, you'll often find a cheaper way. And back to our challenge point, this is a great way and you'll feel so good that you've beat the budget if you can find a cheaper way to do something. Another way that we did this was with birthday presents. We would often look around and see if we could get the best deal. We would watch sales, we would look on secondhand websites or eBay, and you just never know how good a deal you can get for brand new items or near new items for birthdays, particularly if it's something that your child has specifically asked for. That is a great place to start. So tip number 3 is to actively seek out free and cheap activities to do either as a couple or if you're a single with your friends or as a family. This will help greatly beat budget fatigue. So for us, coming into like a school holiday period or a birthday period, what I would do is I would actively seek out free or cheap activities. So here in Australia, we have a big hardware store called Bunnings. I think it's similar to Lowe's in the States. And they run free craft activities every Saturday and as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays in the school holidays. My kids have had great time and actually learnt some really good skills. They've made bird boxes and jewelry boxes and all sorts of fun, and even done like science experiments with insect collectors and all sorts of things for free at Bunnings. Our Bunnings, I'm not sure if this is everywhere, but our Bunnings actually also offer free face painting. So things like that are a great activity for the whole family to go along to, and it's absolutely free. The other place I would highly recommend checking is your local library. They have all sorts of craft. Our library here has both a Minecraft and a Lego club that you can go, you can join. Over our summer break, which is our big holidays here in Australia, they offer like a reading program where kids can read the books and get prizes all for free from your local library. Another thing that I keep my eye out for is I subscribe to like a couple of community pages in our area, and often businesses or churches or community groups will run free family fun days to try and, either get the community together or encourage people to visit their business. And so we have had free jumping castles, free face painting. One we went to just the other day, they had free frozen yogurt. So these are just great little activities. You can spend a couple of hours without spending a dime. It also helps to grow our communities as we come together and enjoy each other's company, that we can grow community. Here in our community, they also run multicultural days and days for Indigenous awareness and things like that, which are great ways to connect with different groups in your community that you might not otherwise have known about. Also during the holidays, I look for cheaper activities, so things like maybe a Groupon. I go to Groupon with my kids to play mini golf for $3 each. This made it a super affordable day out for us. We also had a movie theater not too far from where we lived, and they have $5 movies for kids. So for $20, I could take all my kids to a movie. Although it's not the cheapest activity that we ever did, it was super fun, and it was a great way of doing a bigger activity on the holidays for a cheaper price. My fourth tip for you is to do something that you were already just doing in a different way. So my kids love to have dinner at the beach or the park. I was going to make dinner or lunch anyway, so it costs us no extra to go to the park, or even if it's just eat outside for a night. That is a great way of doing something different for almost free. Another thing you could do is stay with some friends. So over our period of going debt-free, we had no holidays. However, my parents-in-law lived actually where we live now, so we would come and visit them and have a lovely week with them, get to spend great quality time with them, as well as enjoying a place that was different to home. Perhaps if you live a long way from family, you can even just do a staycation. So that might be pitching a tent in the backyard or letting all the kids sleep in the lounge room. Anything that changes things up from our day-to-day, keeps things fun and fresh for little amounts of money. Some of the other things that we would do is we became the king and queen of the at-home date night. I can do a whole video on that because we have had so many fun at-home date nights. It's just a great way to connect with your spouse intentionally without having to go out and spend money. And another suggestion I have for you is if you get invited out for example, a birthday dinner or dinner with friends, and it's really just not in your budget, sometimes you can say yes, just in a different way. So for example, we got invited to a birthday party that was at a lovely restaurant. Of course, even just for Caleb and I to go, it would have been $100 plus. So what we said is, hey guys, we can't come to the dinner part. I didn't elaborate any further than that. And I just said, but we'd love to meet you for coffee. We can come to the restaurant, or if you're going somewhere else, just let us know and we'll all meet up for coffee. My husband and I had a coffee. It was like $10 instead of $100. So this was a great way of us saying yes, but keeping it within our budget. If you really can't afford the dinner, there's always invite someone around to your place, have a potluck dinner where you make your dinner, they make their dinner, and you can enjoy it together. I promise you those times are just as special. So my fifth tip is a big one, and it's all about getting away from negative speech. Not just for yourself, but also reiterating that back to your children. So avoiding things like, we can't afford, I'm so sick of having no money, those sorts of things just put you in a place where you feel like you can't get out of debt. And that's not true. You can. So instead of saying we can't afford it, we would say things to our children like, that's not a priority for us right now. We don't have funds set aside for that. We can do it, but we only have this much to spend. So for example, I would set the expectation for our kids if we were going to a local fun day where like perhaps the activities were going to be free, but I knew that there was going to be food and drink for sale, I would tell the kids before we left, hey guys, we're going to have a great day at this fun day and we're going to find as many things to do as we can. And we're also going to buy one special drink. So we're not going to buy anything else except for this one super special drink at the end of the day. Please don't ask Mummy and Daddy for whatever else because that's all we're going to have. And they would be so happy, they would enjoy the drink, and it just avoids all those awkward, can we have this, can we have that all day, ruining something that could be a cheap experience for you and keeping it a fun day but within your budget. So lastly, it's not really a tip, but for me, surrounding myself with people who were like-minded was a huge help for me. I actually, when I started this, I didn't know anybody who knew Dave Ramsey, and then my brother, my best friends, my little sister, and some other friends of ours all got introduced to Dave Ramsey either via us or via coincidence, and it was so nice to be surrounded by those like-minded people. I personally still listen to the Dave Ramsey show every single day because I just find it so motivating. I love to hear debt-free screams, and even though we're past paying off our debt and we're on to savings and sort of we're on to the later baby steps, I still really appreciate the motivation. And so when you surround yourself by like-minded individuals, comparison is the thief of joy. And if you are surrounded by people who are passionate about saving money or taking care of their finances, it will make your job a heap easier. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, how you guys stay on budget, or if you have any questions for me. I love talking about finance. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. And I will catch you guys in the next one.